Alright, so this is my first little installment of my very first ever CNC knife build, and I wanted to sort of capture as much of it along the way, share with anyone that's going to maybe find this interesting, and also as a record for myself and for a couple friends who are doing similar experiments. So, wow, this is very slow to scroll around. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I'm running QuickTime screen capture at the same time as Fusion. So here we are in Fusion, and this is really the very first attempt at setting up a fixture for my blade. I'll show you the rest of the knife a bit later. Maybe I can turn this on now. So turning off some of the things that are part of the fixture, and I'll just show you the where's the handle? Okay, actually I'm going to have to show you this later because this is referenced in, it's linked, and I don't want to break that right now, but anyway, you can certainly see the blade and some of the features that it's ultimately going to have. There's a sort of swedge up here, there's jimping and chamfering over here. There's the grind, which is actually a bit of a slightly hollow grind. It's not purely flat. There's a curve to that. And there's a little, sharpening choil sort of there. Flipper tab. And then the surface actually has a bit of a draft to it for the lock bar. And then a little ball detent hole. Anyway, so that's... And then this area over here is where the stop bar will lock up over there. So that's sort of all the important stuff going on with the blade, and then of course figuring out how to hold it while trying to mill it. So I've built a very basic fixture, starting with just a block. This is going to be some 1075 aluminum. I have a pretty sizable chunk of it, and it's been squared up nice and flat. And I'll turn on the stock. So I'm cutting right now. This is a test piece. Ultimately, I'll probably move to some smaller stock that's a tighter fit. But if I just turn off the knife itself for a minute, it's a piece of, what is it? It's 2.5 inches that way by 6 that way, and I can trim that down if needed. And for the initial operation, I'm just going to hold, well, you'll see the red bolts are along the edge, really just the heads of those clamped down to hold it flat against this fixture. And let's see, can I turn off those two? So initially the stock will just be like this. I'm going to drill holes for, drill and ream holes for the pivot, and then those will be threaded into the block below. Have I done those threads yet? Anyway, you can sort of see there how it's going to work. And then starting to put in, there's going to be some additional holes drilled for these tabs that will hold the knife. So let's turn the knife back on itself, turn off the stock, and we'll turn on these. So I've modeled separately these tabs that are going to go around the perimeter, and you can see this one I've already sort of marked where there's going to be a hole there drilled to clamp it down. There's going to be a second one and a third one there. So there'll be, stock will be held down from the edge by these guys, and then as soon as these holes are drilled and then the fixture is tapped, you can put those bolts in. There'll be one over here as well. So they'll be, be held sort of securely in 4 spots, while I then profile the entire knife. And that'll probably be just some slotting operations, nothing too exciting there. And that's really going to be it for this fixture, and that's really to just get this profiled shape of the knife with these tabs attached and these known positions of these holes, so that I can build fixture number 2 which will be after heat treating the blanks. So we'll sort of call this a blank, but basically the profiled blade that has none of the details in it. And I have to build then fixtures to hold that down while doing the bevels, and then flipping it over and supporting the bevel from the other side while I do that. And certainly getting lots of tips from other YouTubers and knife makers that I talk to about, just different ways to fixture that and what some of the pitfalls are, and, clamping one side of the blade while working on another and shuffling stuff around. But this is my first time, so I'm going to try to do, it's also my first real sort of solid ish design on a blade, so I don't know that this is necessarily something that's going to go into production, so I'm trying to do something that's reasonably inexpensive and quick fixture to put together, so I can see if I like the size and the shape and stuff. So I'm not going to build those other fixtures until I've at least gotten this far and can kind of hold it in hand and see if, in the real world, if it looks like the right size and form and stuff, and then if so, we'll move on from there. Trying to think if there's anything really interesting to show you else in the setup. But let me turn off the bolts here, because it does make it a little bit visually cluttered. This is really the fixture. You can see where the holes are placed for those are just quarter 20 socket head screws that are going to go around the perimeter. Eventually I'll probably redesign this to use pit bowl clamps recessed in here. I just don't have any of the rights. The ones that I have right now are too big to the stock itself is only an 1/8 inch thick, and the pit bowl clamps that I have would be gripping over the top of that, so I need to get the smaller. I think there's like 3/8 16 ones, not 3/8, 3/16 or whatever, that will grip this thin stock better. Anyway, that'll be in version 2.0 if I get there. And yeah, so I gotta go today. The plan is to machine this block. I've prepped the block, but to basically put in all the features, I'm probably going to put some kind of a ledge on the bottom, and something to locate it in the vise repeatedly, just so it's always in the same spot. And then, some kind of probing location. I'll bore out a fairly precise hole in here somewhere, and that can be my work origin for this piece. Again, that's not as well. Work origin is always critical, I guess, but we're not locating something that's already been machined in this phase. So this is just working from the saw cut stock. Ideally, I'll get some precision ground stuff, so that I don't have to try to surface grind it, or I don't have a surface grinder, so I'm not having to worry about the thickness of the stock beforehand. Anyway, that's it for now. More